Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jalen Says. And today is a special episode. Today we're going to be talking about upcoming projects to Shoot Your Shot Film Festival. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. You're going to see a lot of videos. You're going to see a lot of stuff because it's huge. It's great. It's just making things that weren't possible a while ago possible, making opportunities for new producers, old producers, new actors, old actors. It's really bringing everything together, which is what I really love about things like these. And to talk about it even more, here we have a special guest, Miss Nia Hill. She is she's an agent. She's a producer. She's basically imagine anything in the industry. She's probably already a part of it because I mean, when reading her bio, she just has a lot of stuff, a lot of cool things that it's just pretty incredible that this one person has accomplished. So, I mean, to introduce herself even further, here's Miss Nia Hill. How are you two?
Hey, Jalen, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What about yourself?
You are pretty fantastic. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, well, me too. So, to get the ball rolling, who is Nia Hill?
Gosh, I guess it would depend on who's asking. So since you're asking me, I hope first and foremost I'm uh, a person of character and integrity. Um, I hope that in some way, for some people um, aspiring to do what I do, and that's tell stories. Um, I am a visionary. So on the one hand, I'm a media entrepreneur, so I build companies in the entertainment space, and on the other hand, I am a writer, director, producer, and songwriter. So I started out in theater. I work in the different mediums of theater, film, television, music, and theater, which I mentioned. Um, and I built companies both on the content production side of things as well as the distribution side of things. So it's important to, I learned that it's important to not only be able to make incredible content, but it's important to understand the business of show, not just show business. So then
Yeah.
you understand sort of how content makes money and then how you get to make a living making your art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And with all the things that you do,
Mm-hmm.
you decided to also make a film about autism, ADHD, which is something a lot of parents go through, and not a lot of people are willing to have their back, and a lot of people are willing to have those children.
Sure.
So, what made first off, what connection do you have with autism, ADHD? What made you want to do this?
You're so good, Jalen. Or Oprah. Or Jalen slash Oprah. When she grows up, I'm sure she'll want to be you. Um, I actually, so personally, I come from my father, both my mother and father had mental health challenges. So I had sort of a predisposition to it. And so I learned sort of early on um, that it was important to make sure that my own mental and emotional health were something that I paid as much attention to as I did my physical health, my spiritual health, and all the other elements. So I got a very late diagnosis of ADHD. And when the mothers actually was Tisha Campbell, who's a dear friend, and she said she was praying one night and that she felt like I was, so it came to her that I was supposed to tell this film, and these five mothers came together, and it's Donna Hughley, which is DL Hughley's wife. They have a child, a son on the spectrum, high functioning Asperger's, and Tisha and Dwayne. They're no longer married, but they have a son, Zen, who was diagnosed with autism, with being on the spectrum. There's Shannon Nash, who's incredible. She and her husband. She's in entertainment, but behind the scenes on the legal, and she's also an incredible CPA. And Dr. Donna Hunter, who's an educator who has a daughter on the spectrum, and then finally Tammy Michelle McCrary, who's actually Shaka Khan's sister and manager, who has both a son with ADHD and a son who's nonverbal on the autistic spectrum. So these mothers got together and said, okay, finally, we are going to, they've been a part of all these different advocacy groups, and they didn't see a lot of people who looked like them in these groups. And they finally came together and said, we've got to tell our stories. And so they brought me in, they met with me, and they said, okay, we think you're the one, and Tisha says you're the one, so you're the one. And I was like, I don't think I'm the one. Um, and it wasn't, it was like I could tell that they already had sensitivities around trusting media with their children and their stories.
Yeah.
And they certainly, I only knew one of them, when we first started. And so they, sort of half-heartedly, but really probably were threatening me to trust me to handle these stories. And so it was very much a spiritual, like I really had to go, like, I really am not sure that I'm the one to tell it, but I will pray about it and I will meditate about it.
Wow.
And if God gives me a vision for it, of how to do it, I'll come back to you. And literally like 2 days later, I remember being on the beach and I was just like quiet. And I asked God, if it's supposed to be me, then show me how. And then I got a vision and I was like, oh God, it is me. Like, okay. So I went back to the ladies and I was like, all right, I think it's me. And I'm supposed to write a script and we're supposed to have this cast. And then and then I'm going to tell your story. And I didn't even know how it was all going to work together.
Yeah.
But I had to step. They had faith that I had faith bigger than me. Right. Yeah. So it was a faith walk, even calling Blair and Nicole and saying, hey, do this with me. It's larger than any of us. And in brown and black kids are where the money wasn't going, and it's where the epidemic was rising. So it was bigger than just, another film, for a storyteller, a writer, director like me to tell. It was a movement that was necessary well beyond, the scope of what I could have imagined at the time.
Wow. And to piggyback off what you said earlier about how the parents had to trust you with their children's story. And I know a lot of parents who won't even trust people with their children who don't have autism, who are on a spectrum, but to trust you is incredible because a lot of people want to use them for publicity and just gain upon them. But it's incredible.
Well, I think just to be completely vulnerable, and I'm not sure I've even had the opportunity to share this publicly, but after, we shot the film and, we got to spend more time. We did a lot of Q&As when we screened it and things like that. They all sort of came to me and said, hey, Nia, we know that you think that you just have ADHD, because what a lot of people don't know, ADHD does appear, it can present a lot like some spectrum disorders. And the proper term is neurodiversity. So they said, listen, you are neurodiverse yourself. You are definitely on the spectrum. You have Asperger's. It's not just ADHD. You have 5 mothers. You can go see all the neurologists you want to, but we're telling you you're on the spectrum. And that's why I was sort of able to tap into the mental point of view of that child in the film.
Wow.
To know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and inundated and the anxiety and stuff that sort of comes with it. So in that way, it was really a gift, even though at the time I was like, are you guys sure, really? But it made all the things in my brain sort of make sense. So I'm so grateful for them for that. And so because of that, I really don't have like a natural filter. I don't really have agendas to take advantage of, you know what I mean? It's not really the way my brain naturally operates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So to get back to the movie and all of this incredible thing, it's incredible first off that you're sharing all these stories, and now it's going to be in a film festival, and it's just a lot more people could see it and review it. And it's, how do you feel when your films get into a film? How do you feel when any of the things that you do gets seen and put out there?
Terrified. Like that's like I always feel completely terrified every time I do a new film, or an opera or whatever it is I'm doing. I feel like, really, God, are you sure it's me? Um, and what I've learned, and it's just because like I had to get to a place of really deep surrender and really being able to be vulnerable enough to put my work out there, right? Because everybody's not going to love what you do, right? So I had to make sure that I was sort of internally strong enough to withstand the criticism and all the things that come with, whatever people's, motives are, intentional or otherwise. People have opinions about content, right? And it's their right to have that. So I had to just reconcile with myself that, hey, not only is this something that I was called to do, it's something that if I don't do it in this lane in particular, this is my purpose. It is my ministry, right? So it's like saying no, no, thank you to the gift that God gave me. So I had to get over the fear and get on to, moving in alignment and in purpose and in mission and with intention. And
Yeah.
so, yes, I mean, I would be like a hypocrite to say, the adulation, you know what I mean, wasn't, it's wonderful. Like when people recognize, wow, what you did was powerful and it touched me in some way. You know what I mean? It's literally, so yes, on the one hand, I would say it's terrifying. On the other hand, I would say it is actually the most humbling experience of my life every time. It never gets old. I'm always scared, and then I'm always like beyond grateful.
So how do you feel when people set up these things and have these open for people just making it in the industry?
I think these have to exist. These film festivals like Shoot Your Shot,
Yes.
they're submissions from people. And Shoot Your Shot, by the way, for people who don't know, is this weekend. It's the 13th through the 15th in Macon, Georgia. Um, but the filmmakers who submitted to the festival are from all over the world, right? So when you think about it, you get an opportunity to have your work exposed to people who you would never. There's a Turkish filmmaker. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it provides a platform through which you get to showcase your art and network with people and get, and I had these same opportunities and still have these same opportunities when I first got started, right? So I don't think it's something you outgrow. I think these are important. They are so important, not just the festival itself, but all the ancillary things surrounding the festivals, the Q&A, just opportunity to talk to people who've been maybe not where you've been yet, who can offer some wisdom, some guidance, some suggestions, some hope, that no matter where you are now, there are many places that you'll get to go, right? I'm from Oklahoma. Like I didn't grow up with this dream. I didn't even know you could do this as for a living. And literally, I have never had a job as an adult. This is all I've ever done. So if I could inspire anybody out there, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not the kid who could say, when I was 6 years old, I was, a little Spielberg making films on 8 millimeter. I wasn't. Was I writing? Sure. Was I a poet? Sure. But those were hobbies, I was supposed to be an international attorney, right? But it didn't work out that way. And thank God it didn't.
So hopefully we get to talk about your story later and all of it because it seems very exciting and just incredible, which explains how you're able to do all these incredible things. But putting your incredibleness out for show is an incredible thing that people like the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival do. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain more about it and what's going on?
I mean, I think it really is contained in the context of the metaphor of shoot your shot, right? Shoot your shot, as a euphemism or as part of like, just sort of slang vernacular. It's like, take your chance, right? If something is sitting before you, or you're in a situation where you have a dream that's been sitting on your shoulder for a lifetime, why not shoot your shot, right? So it's a metaphor for that, right? Making your dreams come true. If you don't put yourself out there, your dreams can never be realized, so you've got to shoot your shot.
Yes.
And on the other hand, it's the idea of the literal machination of, the craft of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Compose your shot, craft your shot, curate your visual and filmic and cinematic storytelling. Like, frame it up in the way that you see it. So I think it's a brilliant name. Jabari Crowder is the founder of the festival. I'm just blessed enough to be a part of it. And I believe in him and his vision for this. The work that he does in the nonprofit areas around it, I think are, bar none. You know what I mean? So I support it fully. And I think, like I was saying, there are going to be films throughout, let's see, from Friday night through Sunday, which is when my film airs. There are film premieres all running all the time. There are Q&As infused in that. There's comedy shows at night. Like, it's literally like, don't do anything else this weekend. Come shoot your shot.
Yes.
You don't know who you're gonna run into, because everybody's gonna be there, and you're not gonna know who's who. So treat people, everybody that you meet, with the same kind of kindness you would whether you with,
Respect.
you know what I mean? Really, kindness,
Yeah.
respect. Do that. I don't think people highlight that enough. People will work with you in this business if you are a decent human being with character and integrity. Like, it's no longer the Hollywood of yesterday. You can't go around being a jerk to everybody and expect them, because you're just oh so talented, to want to work with you. When you get to a certain level in this business, you get to choose who you want to work with, right? You don't have to work with everybody. So I would say, not that anybody asked for my advice, come to the festival. If you're not able to come, show your support in other ways. The tickets are available on Eventbrite. Again, to shoot your shot. This is the second year, and for a fledgling festival, I mean, it is important that it is supported, or it cannot continue on. So sponsors, don't talk the talk, walk the walk, show up. You know what I mean? Macon is full of all of this incredible talent. Like, I can't, again, I'm from Oklahoma City. Like, you know what I mean? You got to go to the talent. You got to go where the talent lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And present a platform for them to showcase their talent, you know? So I feel like I'm getting a little too passionate. Am I getting too passionate? Um, Maybe, but either way, that's what the festival is about, and it really does embrace the holistic nature of what it takes to be a filmmaker, and provides a platform for filmmakers from all over the world to come and shoot their shot.
Wow. So how did you get in contact with the maker of Shoot Your Shot?
Actually, through my brother. Here's where social media works well. My brother had been following Jamal. My brother Jamal had been following Jabari Crowder's posts and his story, his personal stories and trials and triumphs. And thought he was looking for at the time he was looking for panelists. And as I understand, you're going to have some incredible panelists coming on this show today. But we got into a conversation by being introduced to my brother, and my brother said, "Hey, I think my sister might be somebody you should talk to." And I mean, we started talking, and then we started like in the evening, and we didn't finish until the next morning. So it became more than, like, I want to support this. I want to support it in the best way that I can with the resources that I have. And so that's, it was very personal and
Yeah.
professional at the same time. Like, I've been where he is, a lot of us have, and he deserves, not just as the founder of this festival, but also as a filmmaker himself, um, for more and more doors to open up to him, because he does that for other people, you know.
Wow. This is honestly incredible. And to get back to your movie, And I mean, it's an incredible movement. It's an incredible movie. I can't wait to see it personally. And are the mothers that brought you these stories actually playing their part in the movie?
They're telling so it's part documentary. So when you see the mothers talking,
Yeah.
they are literally telling you their own stories.
Oh,
Then separately, I wrote a script about a family who were coming home from a diagnosis, and that's played by Nicole and Blair, and John Duffy plays their son. And it just so happens that they both have Boris and Nicole have a special needs child that she's not on the spectrum, but also Blair has a son with ADHD. So you can tell that they're tapping into their own personal um, journeys as parents. And so the story is fused with the documentary piece and the narrative piece. They're intertwined. So the mothers are just telling their own real stories. None of that is scripted, right?
wow. So where did the name Colors My Mind come from?
It was LaDonna Hughley, DL Hughley's wife, the Hugleys. Um, she was thinking about, how we're always sort of looking at children on the spectrum going like, oh God, what a terrible life, or what a, you know what I mean? And she said, but is it really? Because we're imposing on them what we think they're going through. We don't know what's happening in their worlds, right? So she made a statement in her interview when I'm interviewing her where she said, they're coloring our minds to the way they think. They're coloring our hearts to the way they see things. And that was such a beautiful, I mean, really that was the impetus of the name, of the title, Colored My Mind. Like what if we stopped judging mental health, stopped judging neurodiversity, especially in brown and black communities, and started dialoguing about perspectives and points of views and how to love each other exactly the way we are, right? So that was the really the birth of it. I wish I could take the credit. I think it's a great name, but it's the neurodiversity. It's the coloring of our hearts to a different way of being. You know what I mean? And that is, I think, the highest form of empathy. Yeah.
Wow. All right. All right. All right. But also, right now we have a panelist who is also involved in a lot of stuff in the industry. And this guy, all right, we're all just a part of this Shoot Your Shot Film Festival, all just part of the industry. And even though we might not know each other personally, we could all understand each other what's going on because we all share the same thing, kind of. So to introduce himself, here's Mr. Kenneth Van Ray. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm just enjoying this interview, and it's like, wow, I wish I could speak as nicely as she speaks.
Oh, you know what? I will
You
steal that compliment. Sorry, if you don't mind, can I steal that from you?
Oh, I'm trying to talk like you, so do you?
Oh, it's all love. It's all love. Thank you for that, though. Thank you.
So, can you tell the audience who is Kenneth Van Ray?
Okay, from the South Bronx. I lived in the exact building where rap started with Boogie Down Productions. Because people that are famous rappers now were in the homeless shelter 2 blocks from me, and they used to come to the house and get fed by moms. So so I was there to witness all of that. So I did music a lot of my life, and I just wanted to find a place warm to move to. So I came out here. Um, when going back while I was still in the Bronx, my daughters, um, and one of the schools, somebody committed suicide. So I decided to draw cartoons and make animated cartoons and give it to the school to sort of like tell people about peer pressure and bullying and all that other good stuff. So I moved out to Atlanta where it's going to be warm, at least so I thought. I didn't read the whole internet that said it gets cold here from time to time. I didn't read the whole thing, so that's my fault. But anyway, I came down here and I was still doing my cartoons. I got a job at Cartoon Network my first day. No, don't look like that, because me and my big head self, I'm like, I don't need y'all. So I left. Um, I left the first day and said, hey, I could work for myself. I can make um, commercials and so on and so forth. So not thinking who I was going to make commercials for, because it was going to be mainly people that I can get a hold of. So my first one was a guy that did grills, the gold teeth. So he wanted me to make a cartoon where people wearing his teeth and so on and so forth. So I did that. I was all happy. Then he wanted to pay me in gold teeth. And I'm looking at him like, I can't pay Georgia Power with this. So it was like,
I'm not a pirate here. I can't sell this for some doubloons. And
yeah, yeah. So that made me rethink my thoughts about, hey, maybe you just can't quit. But that's me all my life anyway. I just go. I'm that person who marches to another drummer. So I just do me. So I looked up, and a young lady that I met, she wanted me to take pictures of her on set. So I went on set and I took the pictures, and I'm watching how these other guys do things, and I'm like, wow, it's a lot easier to tell somebody to go left than for me to draw them going left. So that's how I started doing it. And I've always liked writing, so that's my main thing. I'm a writer, but I ended up getting most of the equipment because I didn't want to beg people to do stuff for me. Um, I was fortunate because with my very first movie that I did, one of the actors sent it into a film festival in New York, International Film Festival, and it won.
wow.
You know, I don't. That's all God, because I never even touched the camera before that day. For the day of filming. So, but it was him. And from that point on, I've just been getting work after work after work, and just being fortunate of being in the right place in the right time and meeting people. And I already knew in my head, as far as anything that I write, because I want to put it out. So I'm not trying to wait for somebody to give me um, funds in order to do it, because I do notice that here, that a lot of people, they won't do something because, oh man, I gotta get funding, I gotta get that, I gotta get that. And I'm like, you crazy. My thoughts is, if you want to do something, you do it. What
Yeah.
I do is, like, when I work for different people, I don't cash those checks. I don't if it's what's that, PayPal or whatever it is, I don't go into it. I leave it, and when I get ready to film something, that's when I cash everything in, and I make sure I pay everybody, because there's a lot of people that don't pay the actors because they're like, oh, they'll get a reel out of it. Oh, well, if they get famous, they're getting famous off of me. At least they're lucky. Nah, it's, to me, it's like, you blessed me with your talent. So why would I not? I might not be able to pay you union scale, but I'm gonna say, hey, this is what I got. I can pay you this, and that. And guess what? I can cook. So you're gonna definitely get a good meal while you on set. You know. So and it's worked out. So like I said, I'm constantly working. I did a few films of my own. My own. I have one that's coming out November the 10th. It's called
Wow.
Jacqueline the Ripper. And what I do is, like, I just make sure, since I'm independent, I make sure I put little jewels in each one of my films for us to look at. I'm not gonna put too much because I don't want it to get shut down before we get to see it. But I put jewels in there. So like in Jacqueline the Ripper, you will hear about the flying Africans.
Wow.
I didn't give people much on it. I want them to read about it and find out who the flying Africans were, because
Yeah.
that's part of our history. In each one of our films, I throw jewels in there. I throw in about creating a bank in your own neighborhood, how it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's like I put $1 million, but I got the little kids like Googling and saying, no, it only costs $750 to put one. So, I'm throwing everything in there. So hopefully somebody will sit there and say, you know what? Okay, I'm an athlete, or I'm this and that. 750 ain't nothing. In the bank, you never lose your money in the bank, because everybody default, you still get the money from the insurance. So why would you not put, as opposed to putting liquor in our neighborhood and sitting there showing our bottles of liquor, put a bank in there. The bank will then give loans to everybody else in the neighborhood, and maybe we'll keep stop getting pushed out of where we lived at. So that's my goal. My goal is to throw nuggets and jewels in everything that I write. So
Yeah.
right now I'm writing a few more things that I'm hoping off of Jacqueline, because I know Jacqueline they're putting up against the horror movie Thanksgiving. So I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I don't have no worries about that movie, because I said, because I didn't see none of us in those commercials. So I ain't worried about it. We in mine. But that's what I do. I have fun. I have
Yeah.
absolutely fun in everything I do.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do. And also, you have another panelist out here. And when I first talked to her, I heard her brightness in the conversation. She's just a really nice lady, and she's also a part of the industry. Everyone here is a part of the industry. It's all, I guess, a big industry family we all have. And I mean, to share her connection to it and how she got started, here's Miss Nooney. How are you doing today?
Hey, how you doing? Hi, Nia. Hi,
Hey,
Cutter.
Hi.
Nice to
So,
meet you guys. Hey, Jalen.
hey, so can you tell the audience who is Miss Nooney?
Okay, Miss Nooney is a little of a lot. I started out as a background actor when I moved here from Jersey, and um, my goal was to write and produce my own projects. But not being familiar with the area, I came across a lot of people who scammed me out of different things. So it kind of discouraged me for a little bit. So I said, let me learn more of getting in front of the camera to gain more experience. So within like a few years, I joined the union as a actress and a stunt performer, and now I'm to the point where I want to get back to writing and directing my own projects.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So, what connects you all to the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival?
Well, like I said, I'm an actress, and I've also do casting as well. So when I had spoke to Jabari, he sees what I've worked on a couple projects with him in the past. So he asked me would I like to be a part of it. I'm like, yes, I'll be honored to do that. Like something like this is amazing to come together with a bunch of different creatives and. I've seen that he's been posted your project, Nia. I can't wait to see that. That look like it's gonna be fire.
thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to meeting everybody and just coming together as different forms of creatives and see what we can make out of this.
And I think Noonie makes a solid point. Probably the thing that connects us all. She mentioned she's getting back to writing, getting as a writer. Um, there. I think we're all connected through the love of the craft, right?
Yes,
So shoot your shot. Jabari also is a filmmaker, so anything that we can do, even if it's not just focused on our specific projects, we know like this is a collaborative sport. You know what I mean? Like if you want to play individual, like maybe take up tennis or golf. You know what I mean? But this takes a whole team.
yes,
So
definitely.
you got to squat up, you got to stretch, you got to meet people, you know what I mean? And you don't have to be the best at every, when the credits run, you know what I mean, at the end of a show or whatever,
Yeah,
you don't have to be you don't have to be the one doing all of the things,
exactly.
right?
Because
You
it's
just have to
always room
be
for something. Everybody
million
has
percent,
something to offer.
million
Um,
percent.
yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
So,
so I think that is the connective tissue.
all right. So, what advice do you have for people who are going to do film festivals or trying to put themselves out there? I guess starting from Miss Nia.
Uh, should we want to start with me? Cause no, I'm just kidding. Advice. Whoa, that could go a few different ways. Like this might sound corny, but I would say keep shooting your shot. Like you literally, you're gonna get told the most ridiculous things. You're gonna fail a lot. I have failed a lot. I have gotten it wrong more than I've gotten it right, and still people think I'm successful. And I think it's relative. Like I am successful because I get like the joy that I get from being able to tell stories or building models that help other people tell stories. Like undescribable. Like I can do this every day, even when it's hard, and it is hard. I don't care what nobody says. It is hard. So, but do it anyway.
Right.
Just do it anyway.
That's good. Now, Miss Nooney, what do you have to say about that?
Oh, I agree with her. Like it's hard, but it's a struggle that's worth it. Um, Everything isn't worth it. Like I've been through a lot coming down here. I gave up a lot, and a lot of times, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, go back home." I'm like, I didn't come this far to just get this far. Like
Yeah.
I have a point to prove for myself, for my dreams, my visions, and all that. So it was a hard challenge, and it's still hard, but it gets better each day.
Yeah.
So I feel as though anything that comes easy. Um, it's not going to be as appreciated as it would be with the struggles that come and you challenge yourself to get to those next levels.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I agree with her, and I appreciate those struggles. I didn't like them. Trust and believe. I didn't like the struggles, but I appreciate them because it built so much muscle and um, just character. Just I learned so much from it that if it came easy to me in the beginning, I don't, it may not have worked out for me the way it's been coming in play. So
Mm-hmm.
it taught me things that I needed to learn, and I appreciate it all.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Kenneth, what do you have on that subject?
Um, I agree with what everybody said. I know when I listen to Miss Nooney talk, it reminds me of when I first moved out here. There was a particular individual that if you weren't from here, he dogged you out. That's what he did. And I couldn't understand why because I wasn't doing it. He was doing the usual love, 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 kiss, kiss, kiss. None of my movies had anything to do with that, so I didn't understand why he was so against me. Later on, I figured it was maybe I'm competition, but I feel like as far as like anybody here being a filmmaker or doing whatever, do you. Don't let anybody tell you no. Say if you do make a mistake, you got to remember each one of those mistakes is a lesson that you learn. So now you got a little bit better because if you didn't make those mistakes, you can't get better. So just do you. Don't, like I said, don't let anybody discourage you. If there's something you want to do, figure out how to do it. I mean, I hate to put it like this. I don't know if it's a public show or whatever, but crackheads find some way to get cracked. So you should be able to find a way to make your movie.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
that is true. That is true. But also about making movies and things. We talked about the movie. We talked about how excited we are to see it, but we haven't put a trailer on the show yet. And honestly, when I saw this, I was like, "Wow, this is gonna be something." So, I mean, thank you, Miss Nia, for making this happen. And let's just play some part of the trailer. It just I just realized there was no audio playing. But hey, I will put that back on. But honestly, while I figure everything out, that listening to it and just it's just incredible the things that you put all together. It's just pretty cool. And now for the audience to be able to hear it, let me just put it on right. But yeah, it's really incredible. When I first watched it it really just made me think about what people have to go through, because I was well, I am just an advocate. I care about a lot of things with people on the spectrum with autism. I It was a couple years ago. It was right after doors opened from the pandemic. I was at the I can't remember the name right now, but it was a event about sharing these amazing entrepreneurs and these amazing moguls who are also autistic, and it was pretty great to bring all together. And I'm putting up this thing right now.
I just kept screaming and screaming and screaming. And I kept saying, why? Why him? Why us? Why?
People say to me, "But you don't have autism." Their view of autism was the movie Rain Man.
I just was angry, really angry, and just ignored it. And, he was nearly 4 by the time I actually just said, okay, I need to go.
I remember leaving the place where he got diagnosed, very upset, and saying to myself, these people just told me my son is retarded, and I should just be happy that at least he's like affectionate and not like, hitting and flailing. Yeah, I should just be happy that I got that type of retarded child.
I was putting away my wedding dress, and it was almost like a light bulb that just kind of went off in my head. And I said, I've been saving this dress, and she'll never wear it. I think that was my moment where I really realized that my life was different and going to be different forever. They're coloring our mind, to their way of thinking. They're coloring our world to their way of seeing. And they're coloring our hearts to their way of being. It's who they are.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that's just seeing the trailer. I know it's gonna be a hit movie. I already know it.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you both. Oh.
That's just really incredible. And yeah, wow. Wow. I can't wait to see it. And again, where can people see it? Where is the film festival, and when will we be able to see it?
It is airing Sunday at Shoot Your Shot Film Festival in Macon, Georgia. I think there's going to be a couple of airings, but they can go on Eventbrite and check out the actual screening times, I believe. And then after that, we're still working on deciding where to live, like what network it'll live on. So I will, you can follow JALEN Says or follow me at Real Nia Hill, and we will keep you updated at The Real Nia Hill, on Instagram.
Honestly, I really thank you all for coming on today. and I really thank you for sharing your experience with the industry and how you've gone through it, and well, your story as well, Miss Nia, and it's just pretty incredible. So, with the time that we do have, what do you want to say on the what do you want to say before we head off today?
Kenneth,
Yes.
that's you, sir.
Okay, what I have to say, well, I hope everybody comes to the film festival because it is very important. It's very important for all of us to support all of us. You never know who you're going to find there. It might be somebody with that $1 million check and say, hey, go do it. Or it might be somebody who will pat you on the back and say, don't worry about it, keep moving. So you just never know who you're going to run into when you get there. I know with my Jacqueline the Ripper, I emailed a whole bunch of distributors and I got nothing back. And I went to Florida to a film festival to see somebody else's. And I saw this lady and I told her what I had. And she said, okay, send it to me. I want to see it. So, they did the usual where they held on to it for a while. And I just said, hey, I just wanted to give feedback because, they said that they wasn't watching it. But if you have your stuff on Vimeo, it ticks down every time somebody watches it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said, hey, I just want to give feedback so I know when I take it to the next person, I can fix it and be better. So the contract came the next day. So that's why I say just never know who you're going to run into when you go to these places.
Yeah. True.
Well, really, thank you all for coming on today, and I really appreciate it. So, where can people follow all of you?
Well, me, Instagram, it's Noonie Noon, NEWNEENOON, or Facebook, Noonie Williams.
Okay, well, I'm sort of back. I don't really know too much about social media, but I did have the actors on my set me up with Instagram. So that's After Dark Filmworks.
And I mentioned mine already. Facebook is just Nia Hill, and Instagram is the real Nia Hill, and I think Threads is at the real Nia Hill, actually. And I'm not on TikTok right now, so
Yeah, you got to get on there.
I know.
You gotta get on there. Oh my gosh, it took me so long. My daughter installed the app like over a year ago, and I would not touch it. I wish I can't stay off of it now. That's where I like with the strike. I started getting on TikTok more with the strike and start working more on my acting and just skits and stuff like that. And I love it. I wish I would have joined a while ago. But yeah,
no, I had it and took it off for that reason. Yeah. I don't even have time for the time I don't have. So there's that. But but I'm gonna follow you. And I will say I have a few platforms. I've got Monologue TV on Roku, monologue.tv. So I need you to upload a monologue. And I've got Miniflix, which is for all the short films, and then Snack TV. So anybody who's a Food Network, you can find my networks on Roku.
Okay.
And check us out.
All right.
But Jalen says though.
Yes.
Stay shooting.
We appreciate you.
Well, very much so. Thank you for being an advocate for this festival.
Well, thank you. And I mean, why not? That's a real thing. Like when you see something that you can do, question why shouldn't you do it? Not why should you? You know.
Y'all better listen to this man. This young man is 14. My God. I was not doing the things he's doing at 14. Okay.
No.
So thank you for what you do, young brother.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. And we also have another panelist who just came in. And all right, since every single one of you that are coming on today are doing something pretty important, pretty special, I really want to introduce Mr. Lucky and Mr. Diedrich Thomas to the show real quick and just have them explain their experience in the industry and what brought them to this entire place. So I guess starting with you, Mr. Lucky, what brought you into this industry and what connected you to the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival?
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be on your show, man. Thank you for having me. I've been acting since I was 11 years old. I got into the business um, more in depth after my cousin Tyler Perry got into it and became extremely successful as the mogul he is now. But I started at 11 years old doing commercials for restaurants, Rallies commercials, and tennis shoe commercials and things of that nature. So yeah, later on in life became a theater and film major, writing my own productions, producing them, directing them, and acting in them. Also, a lot of major motion pictures in Hollywood with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg, Halle Berry. The list goes on and on. So, what drew me to the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival was the fact that it's going to bring a lot of awareness and resources to up and coming actors, actresses, directors, producers, people that's in the industry, people who need information about the strike, people who need information about distribution, funding, how to acquire funding, line producers. There's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about. They just see the finished product. They don't see the post-production, pre-production, production, the meetings, things of that nature. So I think it's imperative for me to be a part of the panel. I'm honored to be a part of the panel so that I can share my expertise in the various areas that I've worked in, that I'm working in, and that I'm very productive in, if you will. So Shoot Your Shot Film Festival in Macon, Georgia this weekend. I will be on the panel with some more esteemed colleagues of mine, sharing with their experience from their platform and their resources and things of that nature.
Yeah. Wow. All right. And we also have this man with this nice tie on. I mean, you're not. He has a very nice beard too, so you might not be able to see it, but wow, that's
Spread it out a little bit
that's
so
a
you can see
tie right
both
there. Wow. Wow.
Hey, nice to meet everybody. Apologies for my tardiness. I was actually in a meeting, so it's nice to be a part of this panel. It's nice to be a part of the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival. I'm one of the ones behind the scenes that is less heard from or less seen, but make a lot of things happen. So I do the cybersecurity for the entertainment industry. So my job is to curtail piracy and to make sure that the revenue keeps flowing and the return on investment is there, right? My name is Diedrich Thomas. I'm the founder of DigiSoc. Right now, we support 15 countries. And so we're actually, what my company does is when Netflix and HBO, Sony Pictures, the big major content owners, when they want to send content to the vendors, for either dubbing or visual effects or localization, meaning translation and things of that nature, voiceovers. My company goes in to make sure that the network is secure enough to take the content. That's pre-theatrical and post-production. So it's one of the things I wanted to be a part of Shoot Your Shot Film Festival because everybody hears about the directors and the filmmakers and the actors and actresses. But you know what? There's little IT guys like me behind the scenes that, we count too and we make things happen too. So it's just an awesome opportunity and everybody can't act. I know I can't. So, there's other avenues that, you can pursue in the entertainment industry. That's why I want to be a part of it. Nice to meet everybody.
Well, nice to meet you.
Meet you
Wow.
too.
So
Little IT guys, come on.
what made you want to be a part of the IT industry?
Oh, I've been a computer geek since age 11. So when everybody else was getting Nintendos, my dad bought me a Tandy 1000, kind of telling my age a little bit, and a programming book. So I was a little guy in the basement writing programs, which he sowed a mustard seed in me and believed in me enough to sow that mustard seed, and it's grown into something that God has blessed me with to be able to bless other people with in other countries and other cultures. So from that standpoint, and also to be a part of this film festival is awesome.
Well, thank you all just for coming on, and thank you for sharing your expertise in all of the things that you do and being behind the scenes, being in front of the scenes, just making a show for the people who want to be entertained or want to learn something new. And I really appreciate it. So for Mr. Lucky and Mr. DJ, can you tell the audience?
What's up, Jalen?
Hey,
What's going on, man?
how are you? Right, so can you tell the audience where they can follow you and where they can find more information about the things you do?
Yes, absolutely. I'm on Instagram at Lucky_Johnson. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter with the same name. Or you can go to my website, LuckyJohnsonStudios.com, and follow me, subscribe to the YouTube channel for Lucky Johnson, and yeah, I'm out there. Or you can also locate me and find the products that's up and coming on IMDb.com. So yeah, man.
Yeah, for myself, I'm on Instagram under I Protect Movies. I.protect.movies. Very simple. I don't do a lot of social media per se. If you're on Facebook, you can find me under my name, Diedrich Thomas. I kind of keep it simple. Use the KISS method, so not too much to me.
Wow. Well, thank you all for coming on today. Thank you for sharing everything, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jen. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Keep up the great work, young brother.
Will do. Will do. Well, thank you all for coming on today, and I really appreciate it. And thank you, the audience out there in the audience. I really appreciate all of you guys watching, coming on. Today wasn't even a Thursday, which is normally when I have my interviews, but you guys jumped on anyway, which is something pretty cool. I really appreciate it. And also, let's just play the trailer one more time to get you guys intrigued. Also, Shoot Your Shot Film Festival. Hey, if you're in the area, please be there. There's going to be a lot of cool things. There's going to be a lot of cool movies, especially Color My Mind. I'm really looking forward to watching that one. And it's just incredible. It's great to support all the people who are doing their thing in the industry and making a change while doing it. So let's play the trailer one more time.
I just kept screaming and screaming and screaming, and I kept saying, "Why? Why him? Why us? Why?"
People say to me, Black people don't have autism. Their view of autism was the movie Rain Man.
I just was angry, really angry, and just ignored it. And he was nearly 4 by the time I actually just said, okay, I need to go.
I remember leaving the place where he got diagnosed, very upset, and saying to myself, these people just told me my son is retarded, and I should just be happy that at least he's like affectionate and not like, hitting and flailing. Yeah, I should just be happy that I got that type of retarded child.
I was putting away my wedding dress, and it was almost like a light bulb that just kind of went off in my head. And I said, I've been saving this dress, and she'll never wear it. I think that was my moment where I really realized that my life was different and going to be different forever.
And that was a little snippet of the trailer. And hey, watch the full thing. I'm going to put a link to the full trailer in the description below at the end of the live. And just thank you all for coming on. And also, thank you guys for the subscribers. It means a lot. Thank you guys for the liking. And if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, like the video, subscribe to watch more. And guys, stay tuned. But also, I do want to talk about a dear friend, someone who's very special to me, who's been supporting me for a really long time, Mr. Eddie Bell. His wife just passed a short bit ago, and it's been really hard for him since he also has a special need child and a lot of other children, and now he's a single father, and I don't understand what he's going through at the moment because I haven't experienced it, and it's really important. So please go support him and really do. And also, On Time Sunwear, he distributes some incredible sunglasses, and he gave two just for me, and it means a lot. And just please support Mr. Eddie Bell. His Cash App is $ Let's Go to Work, and he's just a really fantastic guy, and it would mean the world to me and him if you were just to really just share the word and just please help out in his time of need. And to all you guys, stay tuned. Peace.